Born a competitor, form is incredible. These rappers I won't settle for, they ain't even edible. Caution, caution, but the tape ain't yellow though.
Welcome back to another episode of Two Shot Reviews. It's your boy, your main guy, Lucky. And it's not available, no pun intended. So, no bullshit, he just didn't want to do this episode. He doesn't really care for wrestling. And today we're going to be talking about WWE's Unreal. But before we get into anything, you already know what time it is. Shot time. Let's go. Make sure you get your shots. I'll give you 5 seconds. Take your time. How y'all doing today? Everybody good? That's good. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it. Make sure you take your shoes off at the door. All right, we ready? Shot time. Okay. Episode 1, titled New Era. It starts off with the intros of Cody Rhodes and Triple H and Cody Rhodes. You know, Cody's the face of the company, so of course they want to put him on there first. Makes sense. I get it. You know, intro to him, intro to his wife, his daughter, so on and so forth. That was cool. They got into John Cena and his return to the ring and how he feels about it, and it's basically like before he actually came back. So I guess that's the time period that they're covering, which is cool. It's a few things that I didn't know. Going into this, it's a lot that I already knew about wrestling. Let me just start there. I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 4 or 5 years old. WWE in particular, I did have a great love for WCW at one time, but it got kind of out of control. Like, shit got really stupid at one point. And as a fan of wrestling, it's not just the show of it all, the pageantry. It's the business, as Brad likes to say, the business behind things. I enjoy the business of it and getting to know people behind the business, if that makes sense. So with this show, me being such a huge fan, and I'm not like a go buy the belt type of fan. I'm not that committed. That shit's expensive. Wrestling merch is expensive. Always has kind of been expensive, or not worth it, especially because wrestling is so, I don't want to say time-based, but for lack of better words, yeah, time-based. Something could be really popular this week or even relevant this week, and then next week nothing. So yeah, I didn't go into it with a great expectations of it being something that I didn't know. Too many things to reveal, too many things that I didn't know, for lack of better words. I like how they showed the schedule breakdown, and one thing I really wanted to get into was Rhea Ripley's shoulder injury. Okay, so the schedule breakdown real quick. The schedule breakdown was something that I found really interesting because they have never shown it. In bits and pieces, if you really follow wrestling, you can kind of pick it up, you know what I mean? But it's like the stuff like the lingo. If you don't know wrestling, you're not going to know what white meat or white hot heat or go home, terms like that. And you're not going to know what they mean. And they don't, I wouldn't say they use a lot of it in this documentary, but it's little things that it does show you, like the call sheet or even the breakdown for the event for that day or for that night. So that was pretty cool. And seeing how they actually sequence the events, because it is a TV show. In all actuality, it's a TV show. A weekly TV show at that culminates in monthly events on occasion. So yeah, I can see how it takes a lot, and them wanting to show everybody how much it takes to go into all of that, like the process behind getting the show together and getting everything running and things of that nature. Rhea Ripley, her shoulder injury, that was in new information, because when she came back, like the way she got injured, with her being kicked into the wall, you would, or pushing herself into the wall for lack of better words, you would think that they wouldn't know what to do at that point. But the way that they brought her back, I was actually surprised that they made it part of the storyline to such a degree, because there was one incident in a match that she had when she came back where it looked like she popped her shoulder out of place again, and you can just see this gnarly ass bump on her shit, like it was crazy looking. And she does this thing where she runs her shoulder into the announce table, and she makes it look like she pops it back in. On camera, it looks fucking fantastic. They don't show that part, but they do show that she did have the option to go to surgery, and if she didn't want to go to surgery, then she would have been left with this big ass knot on her shoulder. Basically, her collarbone and her shoulder blade are disconnected. That shit just sounds painful. You know what I mean? So, yeah, wouldn't wish that on anybody. I knew that CM Punk and Triple H disliked each other, but not to that degree, to where it was like Triple H became head of creative, and instantly nobody really fucked with him. And mainly they didn't go into that, but they went into how CM Punk and him basically clashed a lot. And so a lot of what he was saying during the pipe bomb promo was just him shooting off at the mouth and just keeping it a rack. So when he walked down through the side ramp instead of going through the Gorilla like everybody normally does, that's why it was such a big deal. Because he was basically shunning everybody and saying, fuck y'all, I'm out this motherfucker for real, for real. I don't want to talk to y'all in the back about it. We not going to deal with it. It is what it is. Another thing would be Gorilla Position. I really, really enjoyed what they did with Gorilla Position and how they explained it and how they even showed it being built. Who sits in there? What are their roles? Why are they so important to Gorilla Position? Things of that nature. So that was really cool to be. A lot of things I didn't know. Like, I thought a lot of the writers were just writers, like people who know how to write scripts or movies or shows and things of that nature. But a lot of the talent backstage used to be actual WWE talent, like old school wrestlers, or not even, I wouldn't say old school, but yeah, old school, like Billy Kidman, Road Dogg Jesse James, The Abyss. I didn't even know who The Abyss was until they dropped him on this pack this year, to be honest with you. It's like certain wrestlers flew under the radar, like The Abyss. You know, no fault of his, it's just, I guess I missed him. Maybe it wasn't my time period. Michael Hayes is back there. I don't know if anybody know who Michael Hayes is for the older crowd. Bobby Roode. I know Bobby Roode kind of like disappeared off TV. He's back there working, so it was very interesting to see. Like episode 1, really good, really enjoyed it. No real qualms about it. I feel like people are giving the show too much shit already. It's only 5 episodes in, and I guess they're feeling like it's revealing too much, or you don't want to be spoiled. But it's like, let's be honest, these are characters that we fell in love with. We can like the character. We don't have to know these people. We don't have to like these people. For instance, Hulk Hogan died recently. I personally don't fuck with Terry Bollea, which is Hulk Hogan's real name. Guy's a fucking racist, like, amongst other things. And if you don't, you know. If you don't, do your research. But I can say I respect what Hulk Hogan did in the business. You see what I mean? And condolences to his family. I would say that. Okay, let's do episode 2. So yeah, that was episode 1. I didn't feel nothing too bad about it. I was actually pretty excited watching it. I was really tuned in. Everything that was happening had me like locked in, because I really wanted to know. Like, this was not often does WWE let people in behind the scenes. So when they finally did it, it was like, oh shit, All Access Pass. I get to go in the writer's room. And I'm sure a lot of that shit was staged. Like, I'm sure that writer's room was staged. The way that it's set up, I'm pretty sure, like, they don't actually do their meetings there. And if they do, it's way more people involved. So, yeah, that's what I thought about episode 1. So, on to episode 2. Episode 2 picks up with Jey Uso. They're trying to get Jey Uso. They're trying to get Jey Uso to the stadium, and he's driving. Which, as talent, if you're ever pulling up to somewhere you are performing at, the last thing you want to do is be the one driving, because then you don't look like talent. I know it's kind of fucked up because you're like, I'm a regular person, I should be able to drive myself, so on and so forth. Not necessarily. It's about perception and star power. Usually, you want to come in one of those big black trucks, and you will want to be hopping out the back. So Jey Uso driving with his security, I believe, and he doesn't have passes because, of course, he's Jey Uso, but he gets stopped by security at the gate, and he's trying to tell him, like, hey, I'm talent. And security's like, it's an old man. He's like, hey, I can't let you in. And Jey Uso security goes, hey, I got my badge, you know what I mean? I can vouch for him. He's like, oh, as long as you can vouch for him, I don't want to get in trouble. So it just kind of fucked up, but it's a security thing also. As somebody who does security, like, I know it. You can't just let anybody in. Your name could be on the side of the building, but if I can't put a face to it, you ain't got to pass shit. They might not even want you here no more. You could have got fired yesterday. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting to me. I would say this about Jey Uso. I don't know the guy personally, but his personality on camera, it puts off this shy energy. Like, maybe he's too scared to be the real him. Like, maybe that's just me. Like, I don't feel like he's like a bad guy. I just feel like maybe he's like mad niggerish. You know what I mean? Like, he might just be a wild ass dude, and he's doing his best to calm down and be the new reformed version of himself, or even just be good for camera. You know what I mean? He knows what they want and what they want to see, type of thing. Them telling him, hey, we're gonna push you, you know, before Mania, we're gonna put a rocket on your back, you're gonna be the next guy. I feel like he should have done everything in his power to study under the tutelage of any of his family members that were champions before. What do I have to do? And I'm pretty sure they would all told you, get your fucking cardio up. His cardio has always been trash. Why, I don't fucking know. He gets gassed out before the match starts. He's fucking yeeting for 3 minutes, and then he's standing there. And then the match starts. He does his 5 moves to do. Sometimes he can barely get those off. Uso splash and super kick city. Like, they should have told him to open up his repertoire for sure, and to get his cardio up. So yeah, I feel like he really blew that opportunity. Like, he should have still been champion. He could have still been champion because he's still really over, really popular with everybody. But it's one of those things where you had a chance and you blew it, and I don't think they're gonna swing back around, because once the yeet thing dies down, where do they go with Jey Uso? What storyline can you really tell with Jey Uso that doesn't involve the bloodline, you know? So, yeah, they spent a lot of time with Jey Uso and telling us what was going to happen. I really like that. They got into the whole John Cena Make-A-Wish thing, because we know he does it, but you don't really see, like, the impact of it, or, like, how the kids are reacting. And Cody Rhodes basically being the next John Cena, or the new Cody Rhodes for all respectful purposes, I feel he is doing that same thing. You know what I mean? The autographs, making sure to make all the appearances and do all the TV spots. But like Triple H was saying, scarcity. You don't want to be everywhere. You can't let them see you everywhere. John Cena was more so behind the scenes, being seen, places that cameras don't usually go, but people knew he was there type shit. So yeah, that was pretty dope. During the Rumble, I forgot how good that Cody and Kevin Owens match was. That shit was intense. Now I see why they were gonna push The Rock in at that moment. And had they did that, it would have overpowered the match, though. I feel like, honestly, had it ended any other way. You know what I mean? I could be mistaken, though. I think they were gonna push The Rock with Kevin Owens later. I'm getting the images mixed up in my head, but I think that's what actually was gonna happen. The way that they showed the Rumble, like how they were showing clips. Roman came in, did this shit, boom, spear here, boom, spear here. It was like quick cuts, but they erased everything except for what was actually supposed to be seen, and it was like fast edits. It was really dope. I would love to learn how to do that for some of my music videos. That would be super crazy. That was episode 2. It wasn't nothing too crazy. It was just more so a lot about behind the scenes what's gonna happen. If Chelsea Green is gonna win, if Charlotte Flair is gonna win, John Cena, everything like that. We all kind of knew thought John Cena was gonna win, so I do appreciate the swerve. We all kind of knew Charlotte was gonna win, and then she did. I don't like that they didn't acknowledge that she fucking got booed out of the fucking building forever after it happened. Like, nobody really wanted it to happen. There wasn't the excitement that they thought, or that they tried to make it seem like there was behind her Royal Rumble victory. And which brings us to episode 3. Episode 3 with actually, that's episode 5. We'll get to that. I don't know why they split it up like that, too. I guess because of the distance. But anyway, episode 3. There's not too much going on in episode 3. But let's get to it. Episode 3 is basically with Chelsea Green just showing how much of a team player she really is. Like, I wouldn't say she's the Cody Rhodes, but if I say Cody Rhodes, I'll be like the company workhorse. Like, hey, you want me to do this? All right, I'll do it. They don't really turn down too much. Even if it doesn't really make them look the best on TV, they'll follow through because the plan is better. You know what I mean? It gets greater later type of thing. So with this one, it was mainly just Chelsea, them showing how she's been putting in the work and she's cool with just doing what she got to do when she get out there, especially because she like broke her arm when she first started, and then she came back and she fucking broke her arm right away again, which is insane. So her perseverance was good. I'm happy she was like able to get her championship finally. So that was pretty dope. They put a little rocket on her too. They pushed her for a little while, and she still gets a lot of TV time. It is fucked up. Like I guess what was it? What match was that? I believe it was Survivor Series. Yeah, they were doing Survivor Series in Toronto. And her being from Toronto, she was expecting to be on the card, and they didn't put her on the card. Understandably, the card was already pretty stacked, and they needed a lot of time for... See, here's the thing. Whenever they have things booked, everything's scheduled, but they still have a set time that they have to allot to. They can't go over. So, they can't go over time. You have to cut a lot of things and make more time for more things, for certain things like the return of CM Punk. That happened at the end of the show, but they knew that they needed to give it enough time to breathe. So, the moment lasted probably 3 to 5 minutes, which is 3 to 5 minute segment, that somebody could have had in the back to push the next match. That's 3 to 5 minute squash match with a DQ interference type of thing, just to get some heat under something. You know what I mean? Like, it's all type of little things that have to get cut or pushed out or rushed along in order to make things fit. And I get that. That's part of the business. So yeah, but it is shitty if you are touring everywhere and doing all this crazy shit, and then all over the city and everybody else's city, taking all the losses, taking no wins, looking crazy on TV, and then when you finally get to your hometown, you invite all your family and you're not even on the show. That sucks. That hella sucks. But she took it like a champ, though. I'm pretty sure she cried the card, but she took it like a champ, you know what I mean? And they gave her the belt after that, so it's all good. Charlotte Flair. They talked a lot about Charlotte Flair in this episode. I didn't really care. I'm not a huge Charlotte Flair fan. I believe she has a lot of nepo opportunities. Like, she goes, she comes back, she goes, she comes back type of shit. Sometimes because of injury, I believe, but sometimes it's like personal shit. Excuse me. And we're looking at her pictures and like her old interviews, and for a second I thought it was somebody else. She does not look the same at all. That shit's crazy. She don't look the same at all. And they showed a lot of Bianca Belair. I did not know that Bianca makes her own gear. All of her own gear. Every piece of gear she's ever wore. So kudos to Bianca Belair. Round of applause to you, mama. That is fucking huge. That's brilliant. Congratulations to you. And hopefully it sells. That's crazy to know. And very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. So yeah, that was episode 3. Not too much happened, to be honest. Nothing I didn't know already. Okay, episode 4. Episode 4 was just the start of it. It was called Heel Turn. It was just the start of it all. The start of the New Day heel turn. See, a lot of people don't remember that the New Day turned heel this year. That's the crazy part. Like, a lot of people don't remember that the New Day turned heel this year. Or last year. Or was it this year? See? Fuck, I fucking forgot. But it was like one of those moments that was huge, and it's been downplayed to such a degree because they don't have anything to do. They don't have anybody to fight, and that brings me to the tag team division. Currently, it's terrible. It's the same matches, but they're not good matches, and they don't progress the story. They're just arguing about who wants to be the champion and who's going to fight to be the champion. And then they interfere in each other's matches, and then they all have a big match, which we will talk about because that Summerslam match was fucking insane. They had some really good spots. And that was it, like 6-man ladder match. I think it was 3 teams, 4 teams, 8 man. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And congrats to the Wyatts on their win. But anywho, back to the episode 4, New Day. New Day, they came out when I was, probably like after I was not really watching wrestling anymore. But I heard of them and I kind of tuned in here and there. I stopped watching wrestling because it just became too much of a chore to keep up with. And I didn't really care for it. It wasn't entertaining. It was, like I said, a chore. I didn't want to watch something I didn't have to watch type shit. So, I wasn't really with the New Day's get down, but I appreciated it. Anything that's for positivity for the kids, I'm all for it. You know? All for anything positive for the kids. Protect the children. So I liked what the New Day was doing. And I liked that they were getting a push. You know, they got this stable of black men. And it's not like they weren't winning matches. They're fucking great wrestlers. All of them are great wrestlers. They all had their strengths. So Big E getting injured I can see why that would be such a hindrance to the New Day and what they were doing and how they're moving around, especially because of how beloved he was as a character in their stable. But the reason they turned heel on the 10-year anniversary was just fucking stupid. So them having nothing to do after that point made sense. What else? Then we have John Cena, and they went into his heel turn and broke down how that went about, who got the calls, how the calls came forward. At the end of the day, it doesn't sound like any of them really know who shot out the idea to turn John Cena heel at that moment. I think they just ran with it and said, fuck it. We're going to do whatever we need to do to make the Elimination Chamber huge, because I don't think they were pulling in the numbers. They didn't want to say it, but they weren't pulling in the numbers that were expected prior to Elimination Chamber. So, they called The Rock. I mean, what else do you fucking do? Like, as one of the biggest stars on the planet, yeah, you call The Rock, hey bro, pull up. The idea to involve Travis Scott is still a puzzling one, because they never really got into why they brought Travis Scott in or why they wanted to make him such a part of that program involving John Cena. I don't get it still up to this day. And okay, so this is being recorded the Raw after SummerSlam. With John Cena's random heel turn, I can tell by what he was saying in his promo on SmackDown that they didn't really have an idea of where to go after Mania. You know what I mean? Like, for his final run, they didn't know what to do with him. I think they had a list of people for him to fight as a good guy, as babyface John Cena, and when he turned heel, they were like, okay, now what do we do? We extend it, put him in a program with Cody, maybe have him fight CM Punk, but they really wanted to put the SmackDown Championship back on Cody, who was the SmackDown Champion, and Punk is on Raw. So the best thing to do would be let him turn babyface. Everybody wants him to turn babyface. This fucking heel turn was trash. We just gonna talk about it. He hasn't done shit of noteworthiness besides tell the fans that they ain't shit. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, that's what they were talking about in that episode, was pretty much who got the call first. The Rock gets the call, then John Cena gets the call, and Cody gets the call. Well, I guess John Cena got the call last, but fuck is that? So, yeah, I think John Cena got the call last. So, they were just trying to figure out what to do with that whole situation and make it work for everybody. After that, I think they don't have any direction, because John Cena's saying on SmackDown, we did all this, make me be somebody that I thought I wanted to be, that's why I did it, and now I'm here and everybody left me. Says a lot. It was very telling. It says that The Rock's not coming back anytime soon. The Rock has even said he was, I think it was like after Mania when he didn't show up and everybody was expecting him to. He was like, hey, my hands are tied. My hands are done. I watched him for the situation. I was only here because I got the call from my best friend, Nick Khan, who is the owner of TKO and who I sit on the board with, who I've known for 14 years. Type shit. It's like, he said he was done. So if he's done, and then they also said WWE reportedly cut ties with Travis Scott. So they're done. What the fuck? Who's in John Cena's corner as a heel? He basically did all that shit, and now he's by himself. So yeah, that was episode 4. Nothing really I didn't know. Yeah, no real behind the scenes type of thing. I guess that would have been better as a standalone YouTube episode, like they did with the Build to Mania excel with Cody and The Rock. I mean, Cody and Roman when The Rock got involved. So, episode 5. Episode 5, they mainly just covered the Charlotte Tiffany feud. That's the only real thing that I have any notes on is that shit was funny because it was really bad. And when I say bad, I mean bad promos, badly scripted segments, and a bad choice, poor choice in Charlotte Flair. They even dressed them alike and had them come to the ring and talk each other to death at one time. And that was when Charlotte was in Chicago. She got booed and she didn't know what to say. And so she starts, I can't hear you, Tiffany. That shit was funny. Rewatching that segment was funny, and then like rewatching it with her commentary, because she's trying to clean it up, super funny. Did that little jab Tiffany threw about Charlotte being 0-3 in divorce and then life and shit. That was funny. I understand it's like a low blow because it was too personal, but hey, she stepped on her in front of everybody. So fuck it, Tiffany stood on business. I ain't mad at her. You know what I mean? She said what she had to say. That's why she popped, so she did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna let this shit go no further. It was about to get personal. We gonna be out here fighting. So yeah, she did the right thing. Get the fuck out of there. We'll deal with it in the back. I wouldn't say the camaraderie behind the superstars is breaking kayfabe, just because that's what they are. They're fucking superstars. They're paid actors. Not even paid actors. Paid stunt people. Not even paid stunt people. They're fucking professional wrestlers. What the fuck? I don't know how else to break it down. They travel together across the world, go to all these different cities and shit. Of course, they're gonna hang out, and you're wrestling with this person, so you're gonna bond with them. You have to practice the match beforehand, or even their key spots, just so you're not out there looking like idiots. And a lot of times, it looks like the women, they don't practice these spots, or maybe they forget them a lot. I don't know what that is, like why that's just with the women. It seems like they forget a lot of spots. They bump into each other, where you can hear them calling things out, or the ref has to tell them a lot of the times. And that was the other thing that they touched on, was the ref, which I liked a lot. The refs don't just sit there and tell the wrestlers get up or count the pin or get back in the ring. They actually have everybody that's in gorilla position telling them, hey, get them back in the ring. Hey, make sure they cut time. Tell them cut 2 minutes out. Tell them go straight to the finish. Don't push the fans. Don't touch the fans. And I didn't know that they have plants. Like, I figured they were plants because you never hear anybody who gets hurt at a WWE show or gets pushed or bumped into or anything. You never hear a fan go online and say, hey, I was at the show, or that was me who got kicked over right there, or anything like that. They never end up on TV doing interviews, so you kind of figured it was a plant, but it was still cool to confirm, for me at least. But there's things you kind of know. The Tiffany Charlotte match, I feel like it got a little personal. Even when they were wrestling, as professional as they tried to keep it, I feel like Charlotte still was doing a little bit too much, which is how Tiffany ended up with a busted mouth. Like the force of Charlotte doing the front flip bulldog and slamming her head into the ground unprotected, I feel might have been on purpose. Like, might have been a little bit of a potato, you know what I mean? Like, she can't really slug her like she want to, because then it's going to look crazy, especially because the punches already look crazy. And Tiffany, she's been a botchaholic lately, like a real botch monster. Her match with Jade, they're both kind of wrestlers. They have the potential to be great. And it's not that I have anything about women's wrestling. Like, I'm not shitting on it, because Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi put on a fucking clinic. So I think it's just that maybe the nerves get to him. Maybe I don't know. I don't wrestle, so I don't know what it is. I just know wrestlers. What I didn't know is that most wrestlers don't have real teeth. Yeah, most wrestlers don't have real teeth. That's kind of insane. Kind of insane. And that was episode 5. They kind of wrapped it up, just telling us, hey, we don't know what's next. We don't know what's going to happen. You never do. But there are more episodes coming, so I do look forward to that. And I will be doing a SummerSlam review sometime tomorrow, perhaps, maybe. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it because it was so crazy. I guess I could just talk about it here because I basically have. Brock Lesnar came back. That's one of the highlights. Seth Rollins faked his injury, and curb stomped CM Punk for the championship after he cashed in. That was fucking brilliant. But it was one of them things kind of everybody suspected, like, hey, bro might be faking it. When he got injured in the match with LA Knight, everybody was like, bro might be faking. Like, I don't know, that shit kind of suspicious. It just looked weird. But it looked kind of real because LA Knight sold it. You know, and that's the other thing. It's not just on the moves you do. It's your opponent. They have to sell it. They have to make it look good and believable. And not oversell the move to make it seem like, oh, you just tossed them and you have this inhuman strength type thing. So, yeah, I definitely did like that LA Knight was able to sell that, so we actually believed that it was an injury, and then Seth going around doing the little interviews and so on and so forth and popping out with the crutches. Again, the tag match, another highlight, really dope. The women's triple threat, really great match. So there were a lot of good stuff, a lot of good matches, but there were a lot of matches that could have, I wouldn't say could have been on TV, but I would say that they could have been in a different setting. But there were a lot of good matches. There were a lot of good matches. I enjoyed myself watching it. I feel like the Cody match, they could have got some color. They should have got some color. Both of them, if anything, because it's a street fight. Or even if, I mean, they started booing Cody in the middle of the match, kind of, which was weird. And they tend to do that. Like, when Cody's fighting in a big match, he'll start to lose the crowd somehow. I guess that's when he's going super Cody mode. He starts to lose the crowd. And they start cheering for the other guy, and then he eventually wins them back. But when they started to boo him, that's when I think he should have got some color. Gunther, I feel like he gave himself way too much color. I don't think Gunther's used to blading. Yeah, I don't think he's used to blading. So, yeah, when he was down there, because he was down there for a while, and I think when he first might have chipped himself, he was like, oh, nothing's happening. And then he might have just went crazy, and then this shit just started to pour out. So he was like, oh, shit, I don't know what to do. Because he was down there for a cool minute. But they're saying that he busted his orbital or something like that going over the table. I got to see that little clip again. I don't think he went over the table that hard to bust no orbital, let alone be bleeding from his head like that, like profusely bleeding. So I think he just might have just nicked something. But yeah, great match nonetheless, and a good way to cap the show off. That was my review for WWE Unreal. It's 2-shot reviews. I'm lucky. Y'all take care. Drink responsibly.